What's the perfect way to die?
Machete through the heart.
In your sleep.
What is happening?
Man, I was very excited to do this podcast. That answer just went so many different directions. No, let's not get into that. Well, let's get into it.
Boring.
My
You're
man's
a
Frost trying to
psychopath.
go out. My man's Frost trying to go out like a
Boring.
villain.
You're a psychopath.
Boring.
Frost,
Sleep.
life is not a movie, bro.
Literally, life is not.
Life is a movie.
Frost, how is a machete gonna go through
Dude.
your heart when you're in your basement locked up by yourself all the time?
Yeah, someone's gonna come through there, right?
Mm-hmm.
But I want to go out like fighting, like we're just, and then you know one of those moments in like a movie. Well, if it went through my heart, it wouldn't do this, but like anywhere else in a movie when like someone defeats the villain, but then like looks down and then there's like a knife in them, and they're like, and they like collapse. Like that's so cool.
I feel like the person would barge into your house trying to like cut your hair with a machete. And
Literally.
that's their goal, and then they
Yeah.
accidentally miss, and it goes into your heart.
That sounds more accurate.
What if I got like shot up?
Dang.
I
would
think
be-
me and Shamir just played it
What'd you say, Amber?
normal. I said sleep.
Oh, you said sleep. Dang, I should have changed my answer then. I didn't
Yeah,
hear
you
you.
both said sleep. Boring.
I mean, I'm sorry for not being a psychopath.
Amber dies like 4 times a day.
I mean, I don't.
It's
I
kind
wish
of scary.
I wish I
Yeah,
slept
and
4
right
times
before
a day.
she dies, she looks like a literal zombie.
Yeah, like
Her
her mouth's
jaw
open.
is like all the way
I
to the
have to
floor.
like mentally reset multiple times a day.
But it's like scary though. Like that's fine if
It's
you want to
very
reset.
scary.
But like the way you sleep is scary.
Very
I
scary.
don't. I don't sleep 4 times a day.
No. The way you sleep, like your mouth open, like
Okay,
There's like
first
there's
of all,
like
don't
drool
expose
coming
me.
out. She
There's
literally looks like a
never
zombie.
There's never drool coming out. Let me tell you when these guys saw me sleep. Okay, we were recording the podcast.
I
one
remember
time.
seeing
We were recording
drool.
the podcast one time, and I fell asleep on the couch sitting up. Okay, and that's why I was. Okay,
No, but this is not the only time. Like you've also
there's,
fell
like,
asleep
5 other times.
many times. We've seen.
In
Oh,
the
on the
car.
plane. Yo, on the plane one time.
I was sitting up again.
I know, but like that was one of like I looked over and I was like, like I just saw a ghost or something. There was like all types of things going on. Like your mouth is open and exposed to so many things, and you're lucky I didn't like throw some like milk in there. or
Garbage
something.
disposal.
Yeah.
Listen,
But-
I
No.
don't have anything to say.
No. It's spooky season. That's why I went with my answer. I was in the mood for
Machete through the heart.
the machete
That's,
through the heart. Yeah.
Cute.
Got to go
Love
out
it.
strong.
Pretty crazy answer.
Yes, sir.
Anyways, thank you guys for tuning into an episode of Strange Flavors. My name is Shimmer.
I'm FARAS. I'm Frankenstein.
And I'm Amber.
A zombie.
Yes. A zombie. And this is the strangest and greatest podcast in the game. And this is also brought to you by Alif Theory. If you'd like to email us or send us your music, you can send it right at strangeflavorspodcast@gmail.com.
Only send your music if you are my
No.
cousin.
Oh, if
A
you're your
goblin.
cousin, goblin. Yeah.
Send your favorite goblin or ghouls.
Or a
Music.
cousin of a goblin.
Spooky music. We
Only spooky music.
only speak spooky music this month.
Spooky.
My speech is just not good.
So
it's not there
spooky, man.
Spooky.
spooky.
So spooky, man. Skeletons everywhere, man.
You can listen to this podcast anywhere you'd like. Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and even the visual aspect of this podcast on YouTube.
Yes.
I'm
Wow.
currently... Where am I currently, guys?
You're in an
The
Apple commercial.
afterlife.
Apple
Oh.
commercial. She said afterlife. Both work, honestly.
Yeah.
And if you're on YouTube, you would understand. But we're not going to describe it.
Maybe
if
you're in
on
the
audio.
purgatory.
Actually, I would recommend listening to today's podcast over the video because I think it'd be best to see visually what's happening with our guests later too. So watch it on the computer.
Wait,
And
you mean
visually what's
flip?
happening with Amber's face.
You said you recommend watch, right?
Hey, are you making fun of me because I'm no makeup today?
No.
Oh.
Dang.
You just like don't know what's going on with your face, and it's sometimes funny.
But you can also
That's
follow
true.
this podcast on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter at Strange Flavors. And if you'd like to support this podcast, such as our Strange Flavors Town, Bobber's Bagels, and Cassie's Cupcakes,
Wow.
there's a link down below, and you can join Strange Flavors Town.
Yeah,
Wow.
yeah.
If Sally wants to open a smoothie shop, it's open.
Sally Smoothies. Yo,
Bring it through.
That'd be hype. And also, guys, we have a little channel called Ronopono, and we have a Patreon with that.
Yes, we do.
And so if you'd like to support that, patreon.com/Ronopono. Or we have merch, exciting merch. And that's
New
at
merch.
ronopono.com. New merch.
New
We got
merch
sweaters,
for the fall season.
Sweaters, hoodies, crew necks, all the
We
above.
we've had the Bon Hub ones in fall and winter edition. Now we got Intentions Dog in the fall and winter. Super cozy.
And they're really cute, too.
Really cute.
And I'm
You
not
calling-
just saying that.
Calling Bauer cute?
Dower is adorable. Dower is the cutest out of all of us. Get out of here. Scrappy Doo.
I don't know. But yo, also, we haven't done these reviews in a while. I forgot that you guys leave us some awesome reviews. So if you would like to take the time for just a second, and on Apple Podcasts or wherever else you can leave some reviews, it really helps us out, guys. And it's awesome that we are rated 5 stars everywhere. So that's all thanks to you guys.
Like I say in every episode, strangest and greatest podcast of the game because of you guys.
Wow.
Because of your reviews.
Yeah, I want to read our latest reviews because I want to give a shout out to these people. So this is from not Bobber, which clearly it's Bobber.
Bobber's Bagels.
Wait, hold on. Wow.
so
we found
this
you.
podcast is single-handedly being run and listened to by Bobber.
The executive producer. Okay, so he said really good content. I follow their content at Ronopono/PonoRono, so he knows about our second channel, where we put our vlogs. And the podcast is also excellent. I like how they have a variety of episodes from politics to personal matters or other subjects. There's really no missing out. One of the best parts is this podcast is how there are multiple members and often a guest. It is really multifaceted as opposed to a traditional solo or one-on-one podcast. Thank you so
Wow.
much, Bobber. We appreciate
Thank
all the
you.
details about your experience and how you enjoy it. Here's one more. It says, my name is Saad. Okay.
Hi,
What's up,
Saad.
Saad?
I've been working in construction, and since I don't like listening to music in the morning, I listen to your podcast almost every day. You guys are doing a great job, and thank you for making this podcast.
Wow.
Thank you so much, Saad.
Thank you, Saad.
If you listen to a podcast and you want to listen to one every single day, you could listen to one for 124 days in a row.
This is true.
Yeah.
Good job, Amber.
Thank you.
125. We're on this is the 125th episode now.
Okay, well, now you can listen to 125 days in a row.
Let's go.
Let's go. So yeah, guys, just take a minute to leave us a review. We really, really appreciate it, and it helps us out.
Yep. Guys, it's spooky season.
Spooky season, the best season.
Okay.
The best season. However,
Oh, God. Are you gonna go into another rage moment?
this is, I mean, it's, you guys probably won't agree, but honestly, I don't understand the hype of pumpkin picking and pumpkin carving.
Yeah, you could just leave now. I'm
I don't know- I don't-
not gonna tolerate pumpkin.
I mean, you're a
bashing.
teacher, so you're probably like,
hold on.
Sorry.
When else do pumpkins grow? Do they only come around this season? Like,
I will Google while we talk.
because then it makes sense, right? Like, if pumpkins come around only in the fall time, and you're not gonna see them throughout like the summer and stuff,
yeah.
then
I mean, like, yo, I've been on a date before, this in a past life, and I went pumpkin picking, but it's like for the girl, you know.
past life.
It's cute, you know. Like the girl's like, hey, let's go pumpkin picking. Like you pick the perfect pumpkin, you go through like this harvest thing, you know. But I feel like it's just so commercialized. Like,
Of course.
I mean, everything's gonna be commercialized. What do you mean?
yes, but like, why?
I see your point, but also like I
No,
think
there is no point.
Wait, Amber,
Don't see
did
it.
you find the answer?
Yeah, it's late summer to early fall.
Okay, so they come around during this time. That's something natural to enjoy. It's not like a made up thing that pumpkins only exist during just now. They actually do exist just now. But also, the orange color has to do with like Halloween and like it's just like exciting seeing that.
I think
like,
it
you know-
helped build our fall color palette, and you're being ungrateful. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm super ungrateful,
the green,
honestly.
the browns, the oranges, like it gave us all the
Green.
colors.
There's,
Yeah,
oh,
the
okay, yeah, I
leaves.
agree.
It comes
Sorry.
from a plant. Like literally, that like creates the color palette for fall, and you're being ungrateful.
Why isn't this a thing like outside the U.S.? Like
Maybe
Maybe
can't
they
grow
don't
pumpkins.
like. Yeah, maybe not everywhere. Like,
That's
where
not
else do
true.
they grow pumpkins? I don't know.
But like,
mean,
why
no,
isn't
but they
why
make
isn't there
them
a
in box
spooky
on.
season? Like, you know,
I mean,
Isn't
now you're talking
Halloween-
about like the origins of Halloween and stuff.
yeah,
that's
I don't know.
different. But
Well, I also
let's-
don't like pumpkin picking.
But
It's
do you
just
like do you like eating pumpkin or drinking
Nobody
pumpkin?
No.
likes pumpkin picking. People
Do you
just
like pumpkin
like
spice
pictures.
lattes, Amber?
Hold on, I like pumpkin picking.
I think it's all about like the we're going pumpkin picking.
Because-
it's more
because
about
it's
like
about
with
carving-
family.
I'd
and
go
blah, blah, blah.
anywhere, honestly. We can go like cherry picking. Let's go.
Yeah, they're
corn
all fun.
picking. They're all fun.
But you know why
But
they're
it's
fun?
not.
You know
it's
why
not
they're fun
because
though?
of the act, though.
You know why they're fun though?
Why?
It makes it more fun because like there's certain times that you can do it. Like my mom loves picking fruit. We have a lot of farms around us. So she's like, "Oh, it's cherry season, it's strawberry season, it's apple season." And then when we go, it's like it's really cool seeing that. But then the thing with pumpkins is that since we were kids, we would carve them too. And we'd always see like
You carve pumpkins?
yeah, I've carved a bunch of pumpkins. I have some
What
dope
do you carve on
designs.
them?
I've carved an owl, Michael Jackson I've carved from
Wow.
Thriller. Yeah, I'll show you guys. It's like it's so fun. But then also the seeds are really good.
The
and
seeds are delicious.
I love pumpkin pie. And also recently I tried this drink which I don't like pumpkin
Pumpkin spice
spice.
latte?
No, I don't like pumpkin spice latte. But pumpkin spice or not spice, pumpkin
Pumpkin flavor.
cheesecake
Oh,
latte from Dunkin'.
pumpkin,
That was
that's
good.
A thing? Pumpkin cheesecake.
And
latte?
it tastes like a pumpkin cheesecake, like legit. It's really good.
I'm
I
just a
like pumpkin.
hater.
I like pumpkin flavoring. I made a whole video when I was like in high school hating on pumpkin spice, but I spent like $200 buying everything just to buy it and hate on it. But the reality is now that I'm older, like I can appreciate it. It's just like it's the same thing as like pistachios and like butterscotch things. Like it's like okay, like you like gain appreciation for it. Like you don't
Okay,
like
also the pumpkin picking aspect, right? Like
Yeah.
again, where I live, we actually go. You were there the one time when we
Yeah.
when we filmed the Not to Brag video.
Yeah.
Like we'll go to farms like that where you actually sit down on a hayride. You have your like your winter like your fall coat, sweaters on and stuff. It's chilly. You go on the hayride, and then especially doing it with kids is a lot of fun. So like we used to go with like a lot of like the kids in our community, or like I went with like my refugee kids and stuff, and like to see them find like the biggest pumpkin that they can hold and bring
Oh,
it back.
Is that like the reason, or is it just like? So how do you know what's the right pumpkin?
I mean,
Okay,
whatever
so-
one appeals to you.
It's literally about that. Like usually sometimes people will go for like a big one or like a really round one or just one that looks clean. Sometimes like it's like rotting or something. You don't want that one. They're like if
I like a small to medium sized one
Okay.
because
and
I
like,
just think it's cute
is this
I like
a
one with a
scavenger
flat
hunt?
surface.
The hell?
at the bottom.
Oh, okay. Because you want flat surface at the bottom.
No, well,
Or
at
in
the
the
bottom,
front.
but like either on the front or back. So then sometimes like the carving is like even, it looks nicer.
Okay. And
Yeah.
is this like a scavenger kind of like? Oh, you're going through this hayride, and there's like a bunch of pumpkins. Are you like?
What about
looking
your
for that-
pumpkin picking experience did you not like?
I just don't see the point. But like, like I don't.
Have you
understand
ever
it.
carved a pumpkin?
I've seen people carve in front of me, and it does not look exciting.
You've
at
never
all.
carved a pumpkin?
All right,
I've never
we'll
carved a pumpkin.
we'll carve pumpkins, bro.
I don't want to carve a pumpkin
We'll do it for a Pono video.
Why are you being me right now?
because you need a villain, and I don't think today you're on your villain shit. So
No, because Halloween, like I don't compromise on Halloween.
yeah,
I'm with it all the way. Like
Yeah.
it's so fun. Like
I just don't understand. Like, I get it. It's like, cute to like go with friends or like a date or something. Like, oh, let me get. I never bought a pumpkin. I would like. I don't see why I would ever buy a pumpkin.
You don't put them
And-
outside your house?
No, we have like one that we bought like 15 years ago, and it's like a plastic one that lights up.
look, I don't
we get a new
go
pumpkin.
and buy Christmas trees, but I totally see when people take their families to pick one out and like sometimes people even chop it down and bring it them. It's just like the tradition and
It's
the fun of
tradition.
like doing this thing together during this time of the year that you don't do at other times of the year.
I
is, like,
will
cool to
say,
me.
like Americans are really cool by doing stuff like that, like starting traditions, and it's like very weird traditions, but like it's cool how they can like help small businesses or whatever I think that's.
Oh
like
well, I mean, like, it's not always small. Like that stuff, the farms and stuff, that's small business. But I agree with you on the aspect of like the other sort of like capitalist mentality of just like let's just make as much money off of this season as we can. Like there's
Okay,
business
so what
that
would
is-
be? Give me an example of what you think is messed up for a company to create that's pumpkin like.
What do you mean? Everything.
Why? Like
pumpkins.
I think there's a purpose in like. I love getting the pumpkin flavoring in my coffee when it's season for it. I
Why
think
not
that,
off season?
I mean, because they don't have it all year.
It doesn't feel right.
I
No,
mean,
they don't have it all
I
year.
get peppermint. That's like exclusively like they don't put they put it in
Yeah.
like the December time, but I put it all year.
Oh, see, I like having the peppermint during.
It does
when
hit
it's cold.
harder. It does hit harder.
It hits different.
It hits different, but I love peppermint anyway, so I have it all year.
Interesting.
Like it's like having cookies and milk, like
Like,
midday
if
versus
there were-
at night. The milk hits different.
Yeah, I guess like I don't like the taste of the pumpkin. The pumpkin orange color is the only thing appealing to me. That's it. The pumpkin doesn't even look cool. And then like
wait.
It definitely looks cool.
Yeah, it's definitely a
it doesn't
cool
look cool.
looking
It's like a ball sack. Like,
fruit or vegetable. Whatever it is. What
That's
kind
a
of
big
ball
ball
sack
sack,
is
bro.
that?
it's a ball. It's wrinkly. Like it's a ball sack.
I mean, you might have to get that checked out, buddy.
Yeah. I'm not too sure.
It's a ball
Okay,
sack.
well, you all right. I want the audience to let us know what you guys
I mean,
think. Are you
all
with
the
SHAH-AMEER?
audience, no one's gonna
or
be
not?
with me. But if you are with me,
I would love to hear other reasoning because I feel like yours is like not that great.
yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, it's not.
You're just a hater. You're just a pumpkin.
Yeah.
I'm just a pumpkin hater. And
Fair, you're the Skip Bayless of pumpkins. Like it's fine. You just don't like pumpkins.
I just don't understand it.
Okay, I want to read this question that someone sent in recently. Sabrina, she said, "Hey, I just stumbled upon your YouTube page and I just wanted I am a big fan of your podcast." Okay, English. "They're keeping me going throughout quarantine. Keep up the good work. P.S. Can you make the podcast a weekly thing so I don't have to wait ages for the next one?" Guys, okay, real quick on that. We usually do line it up so that we can do it weekly. Just this past month, like guests been canceling on us, and
Yeah.
like
We've been
it's
trying to get like the best guests ever. Like
Mm-hmm.
we almost had Will Smith come on, and like he couldn't do it. Who do we almost get to?
Cardi
Shah Rukh
B.
Khan, Cardi B. No, I don't.
we almost had
canceled Cardi B.
Zayn and Gigi talk about their new baby.
Yeah.
Oh.
We actually had the baby almost come on.
Oh
Wow.
yeah.
The baby
Nikki-
canceled on us.
Nikki was actually going to come on the podcast, but she gave birth instead.
Crickets.
Surprise! I'm a guide mommy.
Anyways, okay, so Sabrina says,
Congratulations to me. Nobody wants to
question for your
congratulate
next
me?
podcast.
Wow, that's disrespectful.
Congrats, Zayn and Gigi. All right, so Sabrina says, if someone was to make a movie about your life, which actor would play you and why?
I love this question, but we have also answered it multiple times.
Have we really? Oh yeah,
Yeah.
I don't
I think we answered at the
And
beginning.
I'll say my answer that I did before, Dev Patel. So I'll go with that.
Why?
What do you mean? You said it was a good answer last time.
I
want that
disagree
same.
now. You know who SHAH-AMEER, who would play SHAH-AMEER?
Who?
Michael Cera.
Yo, that'd be iconic. I would love that.
You know who that is, Amber?
No.
The super bad guy. That's
He
like
doesn't watch
big
taller.
one?
movies. No.
What else is he from?
Wait, I've watched Superbad.
What else is
He's
he
a
from?
taller one.
The Jew.
There's a tall guy and the fat guy.
What's the J movie that he's from?
The J movie?
Where he gets his girl pregnant or whatever.
Oh,
You know what I'm talking about?
yes. Juno.
Juno?
Oh, the
Is it
awkward
Juno?
guy?
Yeah, the awkward guy.
Juno, right? He gets the girl pregnant.
I
Oh,
think so.
okay, I'm looking at him. Yeah, that's
Yeah,
a good,
yeah, you're
that's a
right,
good
Juno.
fit. That's a good fit.
Yeah. Okay, Amber, who would it be for you?
Can you go first?
Let me get Rico from Hannah Montana to play me. I saw him in that movie,
Rico?
the King of Staten Island. Yeah, he was in that. I was like,
Yeah.
Rico? What is Rico doing in here?
Rico.
Oh, true.
I could get Joe Jonas, Camp FARAS.
I mean, Joe Jonas's acting's not that great, so
Yeah.
Okay, so we're not going with it doesn't have to be within our ethnicity. So I'll say either if it is, we have to have something brown, Liza Koshy, because she's extra and I like her.
Her energy is like way past yours though. Like you have a lot. No, I'm saying like she's like, whoa.
Has more energy than.
Like I think you could play her.
But
You
she
get
can't
me?
play me.
Because then she would have to like zombie mode it up a little bit sometimes.
Yeah, I feel you.
Okay, who's your other one?
Sweetie.
Amber, like what?
She's not even an actress.
Yeah, but she could. Well, did you not see how she acted in her last TikTok? Wow.
What the hell? What kind of podcast
10
is
out of 10.
What the?
SHAH-AMEER, why are you such a frost today?
I'm just confused.
I want to play. What's his name? Jason Momoa's younger Aquaman version. That would be like an amazing dream come true. Like imagine Aquaman as like a teenager. I want to play that.
You have to get
Nice.
ripped, dude.
I'll get ripped.
You have to
I'll
get
get ripped.
Amber's workouts.
No,
Come work out with me and my squad.
I'm not trying to twerk for like 6 hours.
Twerk in the ocean.
Now that's WAP.
That's wild.
That is what. True.
What else, yo?
All right, guys. So this was last podcast, right?
Yeah.
The end of last podcast. I had a long 30-minute story. If you didn't hear it, it's a great story. And long story short, I lost these very precious Yu-Gi-Oh cards to a very famous YouTuber.
They weren't that precious because you were trying to give them up for clout, but okay.
I mean, cloud means a lot in everything in first grade.
He was
True.
exchanging the social currency for.
Social currency for a Yu-Gi-Oh card.
Fair.
Yu-Gi-Oh card was one of the best Yu-Gi-Oh cards. It's like the Charlie's Golden Ticket.
Exodia.
And it's called Exodia. So last week, one of our executive producers, actually sent
Oh, yeah.
us 5 pieces of Exodia
Oh snap! He got him on deck.
on
Wow.
deck. Shout out Cassie. Cassie's
Are they
Cupcakes.
real?
I think they're real.
Oh.
I don't know. I've been out of the game
I
since
thought you were going
first
to be
grade.
more confident since then. with that
I think
answer.
I've been out of the game since first grade. So
First of all, Cassie's a goat.
Cassie's a
Yeah.
goat. So thank you, Cassie, for giving me all 5 pieces of Exodia.
Just even the thought of that is like, wow, who does that?
Who does
If
that?
you want to see his true reaction, it'll be on our next vlog.
It'll be on our next vlog soon. So thank you so much, Cassie. That's very awesome
Now,
and generous of you.
okay. Now I got a question for you, buddy.
Yeah.
Year goes by, 2 years go by. Cassie's like, yo, I need my cards back. What do you do?
I'll give him back.
How
What
would
if
you
you
feel
already
about
sold
that
them?
though? Or yeah, what if would you sell them? What are you gonna do with those cards?
I don't know. I'm just going to keep them, I guess. I'm not going to give them away.
Yeah, but
you sure?
So, but would you feel a certain way if she asked for them back?
No.
You would just do it, fine
Yeah.
with it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. I mean, if he's that way, he better be okay with it. He did that with the other dude. He was like, yo, let me get it back.
I just want to see Cassie make her own podcast and then go off on SHAH-AMEER, and like after SHAH-AMEER
Yes.
becomes a big
No.
idiot
The
YouTuber.
reason I made the reason I did that on this podcast was because he gave it away. He gave away the biggest gift I could give somebody at the time.
No, you were upset because he gave,
gave
it
it
away
away.
and he has clout.
No.
Yeah.
I don't care.
If it
about
wasn't,
that.
if he
I didn't know
wasn't
he
a-
had clout. I've
if he
been pissed
wasn't-
before that.
Yeah, but
I
if he
didn't know
wasn't
he
a
had clout.
Dobre brother, you wouldn't have brought it
I didn't
up.
know he had clout before that, Amber.
Yeah,
this
but you-
logic
you
is
It
false.
just made it
You
more
wouldn't-
juicy.
yeah, you wouldn't have
he's
brought
like,
it up on
oh,
the
it's the same
podcast.
guy.
If he wasn't a Dobre brother.
Amber, I was pissed off ever since.
Okay, look. To Amber's point, like, what if he was like a poor, like, homeless guy?
I'm
Would
still
you be, would
pissed.
you-
If I saw him
no.
on the street, I would bring up the story again.
If he had to like sell that, like to continue living,
He just hasn't. I haven't seen his face since then. And so when I saw it on YouTube, I'm like, holy shit. Like, if I went to the grocery store and I saw him, like, at the grocery store, and I'm like, holy crap, I ran into him, I'd bring up the same story.
I don't believe
It'd just be more juicier because of the YouTube. Because he came across my eyes.
Look, we're getting him heated again. Yo, you got the cards, man.
It's not about the cards.
Yeah, but now it's time. It's your time to like repay.
It's about the lesson. I didn't get a lesson from this.
The lesson is no. Here's the lesson. For every shitty person, there's a beautiful person on the other side.
Wow, that is beautiful.
And
Wait, what did you say? For every beautiful person, there's a shitty person on the other side?
Yeah, like Cassie came through, like she's an angel.
Oh, I thought you were saying I was
dropping those
a beautiful person.
No, you're not the. No, you're still. Like,
No, you're
Cassie
the
was
shitty
like,
person in this situation. You're the one who's an Indian giver.
No, I wasn't. I wasn't talking about SHAH-AMEER. I was talking
Not
about
that
the
you're a
Dobre
shitty
bro
person, Shami.
He's
who
the
gave
beautiful
his
person.
card away
person.
to Cassie, who retrieved them.
Oh, dang! What if he did?
What do you mean? Oh,
No,
That
like
was
he
what
gave
I
the
was
cards
saying
to
before.
Cassie.
oh.
Yeah, that's what I thought you just said.
What the heck? That's a whole twist. It was meant to be that way.
Yeah, he heard the
Oh,
podcast
snap.
and gave these cards to Cassie, and he was like, "Hey, give this to Shimmer."
Yeah, because he like I don't want to come
because-
across that guy.
Yeah.
Like he's
So
gonna beat
he
me up.
went to one of our sponsors, contacted them, mailed it to her.
Amber.
Maybe
this
he
is
was
the
like
strangest and greatest podcast in the game.
That's true.
maybe he's just humble.
So-
Maybe he's like, you know what? I don't want the credit for this.
Yeah.
Let me just give it to.
Let me give it to
And
Cassie.
now we're
sponsor.
taking away Cassie's credit. Cassie, thank you for
Okay,
such,
yeah.
such a thoughtful gift. All right, Amber, do what you were gonna do before we
So-
introduce the guest and give us
Okay.
great topic.
I'm going to bring it back up because it's again, we need to have a soundboard for this.
Let me get my pillow real quick.
Hold on. It's the Cardi Nicki News of the Week. Okay.
I just threw up 3 times.
Guys, I am a godmother of either.
Okay, you already said that.
Okay, but you guys didn't give me the applause that I need, okay? And this is important to our listeners. That I am now a godmother to either a beautiful boy or beautiful girl. Not sure yet. But our queen, our leader, Nicki Minaj, has had a baby, and I am sure it is beautiful. And
Let me tell a Punjabi joke real quick.
okay,
Nicki Minaj just had a Nicki Minaj.
that's
Do you
cute.
get it?
Yeah,
I get it.
like a little
Nick-
Nicki.
Nicki means small.
Oh.
So like Nicki Minaj had a
That's
small
hilarious.
Minaj. Okay,
If I knew Punjabi.
go on.
Well, I need to get my pillow for that joke, okay?
Okay, well you
Anyways,
said it was hilarious, so.
okay, yeah, but I didn't like how you guys.
My
were
Punjabi
making fun
folk gonna get that one, man.
of me. Okay. Second thing is, oh wait, I'm still waiting for my applause. Like, no.
Okay, well we'll just wait till this podcast cuts off.
If any girls want to join this podcast, we're actually accepting applications. The
Amber, like, what
requirements
what
are
does this do?
the listen. I just think that like if
Wait,
we
I got you with the
had-
sound effect.
Okay. What it does is people know how important it is to me, and if I had somebody to discuss it and be like, oh my god, like you think that like, yeah, like that baby's gonna be like a little Nikki, oh my gosh, she's gonna come out, da, da, da. Like, so now I'm accepting applications for this podcast. The girl must be interested in Nicki Minaj or Cardi B. You know what, just take it to the guest. I'm done. Take it to the guest.
Amber's just trying to get gifts gifts like SHAH-AMEER. So someone sends her like some.
Oh,
If
yeah.
you want to
Send
send
her
me
like.
Nicki merch.
Oh, I thought
That's
people were gonna
fine.
send you a baby.
Oh, guys.
Guys.
I'm just getting vials of sperm in the mail. Like, no.
Ew. What if that was like bio data? Like, I'm 6 foot.
Dude, what if that's like a new way to like you just send it and it says like the stats on there?
It has like a.
I mean, that's how
like
sperm
a
banks
base
work.
system.
Yeah, I remember someone told us that.
You just
Like-
need to use a turkey baster.
Someone actually told us like on the podcast, which we had to like cut the whole thing out of how like he was a sperm bank baby and like his dad was like listed as all
Oh,
these
yeah.
things. Remember? That was
Yeah.
crazy.
Yeah.
That's
true.
so interesting to see how that works.
That is really cool.
But don't test it out on any of our co-hosts. So.
Amber might be like, that looks legit.
Hold on. He said you're 6'4"?
Oh my gosh. That's not what our PO box is for, guys.
Yeah.
However, you can ask for our P.O. box number.
Yeah.
Our bootleg P.O. box.
It's still a P.O. box number.
Yeah. So if you'd like to send us something like how Cassie did, then you can just message us.
We also got cookies in the mail, and my brother thought they were kebabs. So I was like I was looking at them for like 5 minutes. I was like, why would you send kebabs in the mail? And it looked like kebabs. And then
so funny.
I opened them up, and then I was like, these are cookies, bro. Like I was just thrown off. I was like, hold up, are they kebabs? Like, why would someone...
Try smelling them.
No, because in the saran wrap, it looked like it could be kebabs. And I was like, what? And he was like, oh, they're kebabs. Like he was serious. Don't send us kebabs. Actually, unless you make really good kebabs.
And they're frozen, and you find a way to really like preserve them.
Yeah.
Yeah, you like guys, you gotta understand if you send food, like you have to properly preserve it. Otherwise, it's like not usable.
Yeah.
But thank you to everybody who has sent cool stuff.
Yeah.
All right, let's introduce our guest.
Okay.
Our guest, our stranger today, is possibly our newest recruit to the team. So he's got a great visual eye and technical knowledge behind the scenes. He also happens to be a biracial convert with an interesting story of how he came to faith. So we talked to him about vaping, about culture, his current projects, and much more. So enjoy this episode with this week's stranger, IHSAAN Singleton. Yeah.
The video too?
Yeah.
Shoot. Back in like pretty early, like 2013, 2014, I think. I was curious, wanted to try it out, seeing as it was, just flavorings. I wasn't doing any nicotine or anything when I started, but eventually it got to the point where in my life where I was tempted to turn into like cigarettes or alcohol or whatnot. I'm like, you know what? I think this can keep me from...
So you started off on the vape.
I did. And it's funny because I judge people who start off vape that weren't smokers before. But really, like people who do it, I mean, I don't like judging people in general, but I do kind of feel iffy when people pick it up and go, oh, this is cool. Like it, like, because the majority, I used to work at a couple different vape shops. One most notably was Liberty Vapors up in Ashburn. And while a lot of people view it as, something these dumb kids are doing, majority really are people who've been smoking 20, 30, 40 years and found something that actually works for them.
Okay.
Like, you have no idea how many people come in and go, I'm so thankful for this. My doctor checked my lungs out, checked my teeth. They're saying, whatever you're doing, keep doing it. And then the stories don't end there. Like you have, I remember, this is when, back the whole thing when people were dying from vaping, which is a whole long story.
Was that real?
It's not from, it's not from like what I'm vaping on right here.
From the Juuls, right?
No, it was from, okay, so you got to remember that this is just a delivery device. What you're actually inhaling, it depends on what you put in, right? So what I'm vaping on is, it's a mixture of propylene glycol, which is in the air in hospitals when you walk in. It helps keep the air kind of clean. Vegetable glycerin, self-explanatory, and just flavorings, which the industry has done a great job self-regulating, determining what's safe to inhale, what isn't. What all these people were dying from was these black market THC cartridges. And what was killing them specifically was they were cut with vitamin E oil to help thin the oil to make it easier to vape.
So it's like fake stuff. It's like, it's not the industry like you're saying.
No, he's
Correct,
saying
yeah.
he's saying that THC oil is thick, so then they were just thinning it out.
No, but like it's not like what
Right,
he's
it's not
on
it's not
is
something
not-
you could go into a vape shop and pick up.
Right.
Like this was
Got it.
literally like pretty much you could buy these boxes that were labeled Dank Vapes, which wasn't even a real company. It was just for drug dealers to put their stuff in and so they don't get caught. But the vitamin E oil, if you ingest it, it's fine. You rub it on your skin, that's fine. But if you inhale it, that shit's toxic. So that's what was killing these kids. But the problem is, if you're some 15, 16-year-old Are you gonna tell your parents that you were caught, trying to smoke weed or THC? No. So they said they were getting it from their friends who bought the jewels and whatnot, and then you have a bunch of small business owners that suffered from it. Fun fact: if you go to the CDC right now, they explain that all the deaths were related from the vitamin E oil and the THC cartridges. But I mean,
but you get like the funny sort of angle of it, right? Like with the stereotypical like vape. What do you call it?
Some people say vapists.
like the vape fuckboys.
Yeah.
Like I run into a couple. Like when
Would
you
you
see
consider
those videos,
yourself that?
No, because there are some people that are like, "Oh, you vape, bro? What Subaru do you drive?" Like that. That's not too far from the actual stereotype of it, because you had. I mean, don't get me wrong. I supported the whole people like wearing vape gear, the different vape juice and whatever companies, because despite. Like, most of these devices were big manufactured in China, but a lot of the juices, the shops, were all small business. So, from that standpoint, to be supportive of that was... And it used to be big back in 2014. Like, employees from one shop would hang out at another shop. Like, it was this whole... Especially here in the Northern Virginia area. But, for whatever reason, that died down because business is business. And then people mix business with drama and personal and whatever. But, I mean...
Do you think like jeweling has like kind of tarnished the vaping realm?
Absolutely, because Juul, when it first came out, it was fully owned by a company called PAX, which is notoriously known for weed vapes and wax pens and stuff like that. But one thing that didn't sit right with me was like, it was cool because it catered. So a lot of those e-cigarettes that you'd find at like 7-Elevens, gas stations, all that, those were all made by tobacco companies to give it a bad taste so that people who try to go into vaping would have a bad experience and go back to smoking cigarettes. Juul, we realized, okay, this is a vape company. They're putting a bunch of... Well, there was one extra thing they were putting in, sodium benzoate, which is a preservative and causes sore throat. Why they put that in there... I mean, if their market was to get into convenience stores and whatnot, I guess. But now, I forget, is it Altria who owns either Philip Morris or R&J Reynolds? Altria is this big multi-corporation. They own one of the big tobacco companies, and they actually bought a piece of Juul. So Juul is now owned by Big Tobacco, which most people who run vape shops are... Well, some people still sell Juul, but me, I'm just like... I wouldn't buy that I wouldn't suggest anyone buy that if they were vaping. I'd rather...
So if I want to get my dad, who smokes a lot of cigarettes, out of that, I should give him a vape, not a Juul.
Yeah, because Juul, as far as I know, cheap ingredients are put in there. It's not the most quality. And there are plenty other devices that are like the Juul that are very similar to smoking an actual cigarette.
Also with
Sorry.
Also with vape, you have like more customization, right? Because the Juul cartridges, they have like a specific amount of nicotine, and it's pretty high, right? But I think
what's funny is, well, the level on the Juul cartridges are much higher, but the reason for that is because you're getting less vapor. Like, for example, I'm vaping what's a 3 milligram. I think the ratio is like 3 milligrams every milliliter, something like that. Pretty much a ratio throughout the fluid, right? If I was hitting the same liquid in here in a Juul, I wouldn't be getting as much nicotine in my system because it's such a small amount compared to, something like that, right? So that's why the milligram is either like 25 or 50 for those little tiny cartridges.
Yeah, I just want to see my dad vaping. Like, I think I might do that. I think that'd be so funny.
You know what's funny about that? Because I used to get into, believe it or not, those cloud competitions. Where literally, people are competing with each
what's
other.
a cloud competition?
You line up back to back with somebody, you compete who has the biggest and longest cloud. And believe it or not, there was a competitive part to it, because not only is it producing smoke, but then you have to worry about how far it travels. Now, the harder you blow, the more the plume is what we call it, goes sideways, but you wanted it to go forward. So some people would do this thing where they would blow, and then after most of the vapor is out, they would lower their heads to blow underneath to keep it going.
Isn't it funny that
there's,
you
like,
would
strategy.
have to have like the
Yeah.
strongest, whoever has the strongest lungs would like essentially win, but doesn't
it's
vaping
not-
like
No,
not,
Amber, that's what he
It's
just
technique.
said. There's a strategy.
It's technique, yeah. It's not about. Well, I mean, that does help. But
yeah, you would need to blow it out too, like strongly.
No,
But it's
no,
also
that's what I'm
technique.
saying. It's not that. It's like actually, like once you blow out the plume, you would need to blow underneath it to carry it.
What did you call
Like
it?
there's the
did you
plume.
call
It's
it?
like it's an actual term, plume. Believe it or not.
Plume.
Do you like sign up or like you got you like you
So
have a
a lot
text
of
group or...
some shops would hold competitions. You
Oh,
know,
okay.
like grand openings and stuff. Someone actually hosts competitive stuff,
Hmm.
but and then at big conventions like vape conventions, they'd hold them. And just
Dang.
like any other
would
sport,
you win?
really, huh?
What would
If
you
like sometimes like it was like a cash prize of $500. Sometimes it was like a bunch
Dang.
of free juice. Like I know a guy who paid rent for 6 months going to vape competition.
Jeez.
Jeez.
Was there like a guy who was like, "Yo, that's the best vapist in North America"?
There actually were some people in like,
Like known
here in
for their
Virginia
vaping.
where it's like we're known for cloud competitions and tricks. There were trick competitions too.
Dang, that's
That's
pretty
crazy. Isn't it insane how there's like these entire worlds that we just like don't know about?
Yeah.
yeah.
But unfortunately, that
That's so
didn't. It didn't really keep going, that the whole competition scene, because, well, like any sport, you know, like there were sponsors, like juice companies would put money in, they'd put their product in, but then they realized that people going to these competitions weren't people watching and who became customers. They were just people wanting free shit.
Hmm.
And all of a
Okay.
sudden, the company stopped sponsoring the cloud competition, the trick competition, because there was no point to it. You know, like if you put an ad on the Super Bowl, you're getting your return on investment guaranteed. You know,
Sure.
but this because there was no return on investment, they went, okay, this isn't really what we hoped it was going to be.
Yeah.
Now we know somebody who can get us in the vape community. And if we ever want to try, drop vape knowledge on us. So
Vape
that's
knowledge.
great.
Knowledge.
Yeah, guys. If you missed the intro for whatever reason, we're sitting down with IHSAAN right now. We met him through Amber. Actually, they worked on a show together. But basically, IHSAAN might be working with us in the future. We just wanted to get his story first of all and hear more about him on the podcast. We thought it might be a fun idea, so here he is.
And he has
IHSAAN.
like a super cool background, and I was like, it would be so nice to hear what you got going on, and for our listeners to kind of get used to somebody who might be around us some more.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought you literally meant his background. Like in the back.
Well, his
Sorry,
background's
Shimmer,
cool too,
only-
because
Only you would think that because you switch up your background every week.
I'm doing the shameless plug right now with my brands and dark visors. You want me to just go in, right? Like with
But
whatever, or
we'll go by like what you gave us, but yeah, from the background, it's like you could see he's into all the tech and music and filming. He's actually got a proper setup for the podcast, so it's nice to see that. And that's essentially what like we would want him doing with us. So that's pretty exciting. I want to go in right off the bat with what you gave us first, which is that you actually converted to Islam at the age of 15. How does one even do that at the age of? I mean, I don't know a lot of people
Yeah.
that did it at 15.
So funny. I was one of two Korean people from the same high school that converted.
Oh,
And that's a story I'll get into later, but like literally like several times over the years when I heard of another Korean Muslim convert, it happened to be this one brother. So that's
Wait, so
kinda
there was
fun.
two Korean kids at the school and you both converted?
Yeah.
Wow.
Not at the same
Okay.
time. He converted like a while back. I think he graduated my freshman year. I
Did
don't
you know him?
I met him from time to time. He was actually on my bus, lived in my neighborhood for a bit.
Okay, so
right
like
now,
he didn't influence you.
nah.
Okay.
I met him after the fact.
Got it.
Oh wow.
But
Got it.
basically, I learned through it was freshman year, world history. They're teaching all the different religions and whatnot. Same God as Christianity and Judaism. I was kind of
what
more
were you before?
Christian, leaning towards agnostic at the time because, like, my mom went to church, but she and I didn't get along that well growing up, still don't. So at a young age, there was just a lot of trauma I had to deal with from her. And in my mind, I was like, how could, someone doing this act this way? And of course, that was my thought process there. Now it's a lot different. But basically, I was more agnostic at the time. Also because, there were, so while we were learning about the different religions, a lot of non-religious students around high school were talking about how Islam made the most sense to them. And then there just happened to be a few brothers on the bus. This one very religious. He liked getting into debates, this and that. And I listened to some of the stuff that he said. And he, of course, led me to a couple cliche flaws in Christianity that people always tend to go to regarding whether Jesus is the son or claimed he was God, this and that. But he kind of introduced me to the faith, but then I eventually, reading some of the Quran, watching videos on YouTube, interacting with other Muslims, and then applying my own questioning to it. I just kept studying. I ended up fasting for Ramadan and quit eating pork before I even converted.
So you weren't essentially like, all best friends with like Muslims and stuff, and it was more so like you went literally from like learning about it in class and then asking others about it. It wasn't
the one brother I talked to, his brother, his family, they lived down the street from me, and I'd be over often a lot of the time. So it was a Pakistani family actually. So like half the time I came over, if they were cooking halim, I'd ask the brother's mom, like, would I be able to get some? She's like, I already got your container packed up. Here's some naan, like, good to go. I'm like, shoot, awesome. Okay. And but yeah, they took me to the masjid, Shirley Gate Masjid in Virginia, a few times, and then it's my sophomore year. Actually, it was April 2nd, 2010. That's when I converted. So when I told people about it the day before, nobody believed me. They thought it was an April Fool's joke.
So you're Muslim for a decade.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Wow.
Dang.
MashaAllah. Okay, real quick, by the way, this is not the reason that we want to recruit him to the team. Just so everybody knows. This is something that Amber actually told us afterwards. I was like, oh, that's cool. That's an interesting story. But we do not only just take Muslims.
We want to recruit him because of his talents, but then we're like, oh, you have a story. How about you come on Strange Layers itself and see what's happening?
Bro, that, like, in high school, I didn't know anybody around me that was talking about that. I don't know about you guys, but
I mean, like,
that's
I live around a pretty diverse amount of people, and like even our religious class, like no one looked at Islam, at least. Like
we never had a religious class. Like
we had like
a
couple
history,
days, world history, but it was like
history.
a couple days. Like we would people would learn about Islam, and then like people would make jokes.
We didn't
and
have
stuff.
that
At all.
No.
No, you definitely did because it's a part
No,
of the,
we
it's
never-
a part of the
we never
curriculum.
Like
It's
when we
only,
talked about
it's only
empires.
like 2 or 3 days. It's only like
Dang,
2 or 3
Frost
days.
doesn't remember.
Yeah.
That's okay. That in itself is a privilege. Like I remembered that day very clearly because I remember sinking in my seat a little deeper.
We we go to completely different like
Yeah, it could have been the
Counties.
different school system,
counties
different curriculum.
that like.
I mean,
they-
I believe that he lives around like a very white area, so
As far as I knew,
I can see how they
like
skip.
like when I was in grade school, like I celebrated Christmas and all of that. I just I was like people would ask it's just everybody's the same. Like there's not.
Frost's teacher was probably like saw the Islam section, was probably like skip,
Nah.
and then
Not important. Yeah, but that's crazy. Like how in depth you were going about it.
yeah, and at that young age, like
Yeah.
I think a lot of people can't think that deeply.
What was like the reaction of like your family members around you and stuff as you're going through this?
The first thing, well, my dad apparently didn't care, but then he was kind of an idiot, and he read that I shouldn't be calling him an idiot. He passed a few years ago, but he was acting like an idiot at the time. He read in an article some radicalized Muslim, some white guy who became Muslim became radicalized, and he met a bunch of radicals who were playing video games. I was playing a lot of video games, and he just made the assumption, and then legit thought I was playing with radicals. I'm like, you can't say that, because then, thankfully, I didn't get nabbed in the middle of the night by like Homeland Security or anything like that. But plus, you know, with everything in the monitoring, they saw everything I was posting was anti-terrorism and, you know, Muslims are good people, stuff like that. My mom, her first words to me were, oh, fun fact, even though my dad thought that stuff, he still wrote me a note to, like, not be in school during Eid and didn't tell my mom about it.
Oh, wow.
Because when I was studying, my mom said, I'll kick you out if you become Muslim. I'm like, okay. Finally, one day after an argument, I was like, you know what? I already converted X amount of months ago. And she's like, and the first thing she said was, don't go blowing anybody up. My friends at school all were cool about it. They're like, oh, shoot, you're actually like making your own decision, both religious and non-religious. But anyway, so that day I like went to the bus stop, and then as the bus came, I walked like around the neighborhood so my mom think I went to school.
Oh.
And then I went to the one brother's house, and we all went to eat together. So that was dope. But my mom eventually saw how I grew, and it molded me as a person. And eventually she came to accept it. She actually ended up donating to an Islamic organization, Makespace, that I used to volunteer for back in the day.
Wow.
Like, and it's very weird how it happened, because I was part of like the volunteer group organizing a lot of things. I did some video editing. I helped run their sound during the prayers and whatnot. And one sister's mother made these tote bags out of these different fabrics, and wanted to sell them like $20 a piece, you know, to raise money for Makespace at one of the Holocaust. And I showed the picture to my mom, and I'm like, hey, do any of these tote bags interest you? She's like, no, I have plenty of them. And I was like, oh, okay. And then she asked me later, like a moment passed. She's like, wait, why do you ask? I said, oh, at Makespace. She knew what Makespace was, what I did for them and all that. Because I did a lot of like feeding the homeless events and this. So I guess those things would appeal to her. Ironically, she would be like, well, why can't you do that for the church? I'm like, why can't you just let me help the community the way that I like to? But, no, I said, you know, they're from Makespace. The sister's mother making them, yada, yada, yada. And she's like, oh, okay, hands me some cash and says I'll buy one. And I'm like, yo.
Oh, wow.
What just happened right now?
All right.
Like, you used to, like, she went from don't go blowing anybody up to donating money to an Islamic organization.
Wow.
How is she now?
That's good.
I mean, it doesn't really come up in conversation. Like, she knows, actually, during one Ramadan when I was going to all the Tarawih prayers at Makespace, every night I came home late after the prayers, she'd have like bulgogi and broccoli and like different
so
food
sweet.
waiting for me. I just pop it in the microwave, quickly eat, and then
That's really sweet.
That is really sweet.
Is it often as a convert, do like people kind of like look down upon you just the way you look, or finding out that you're a convert and you might not know as much, or
I can't say much for sure, because mostly people first go like, oh, it's so great, mashallah, mashallah, mashallah. But like, I did run into this at Makespace. Now, going to Makespace is great, is phenomenal, but behind the scenes on the volunteer level, some people had this disconnect me, and I can never figure out why. I don't know if I was, because the group was primarily Afghan. I don't know if it's because I was a convert, because I was Afghan. Not saying that it was either of those, but I actually did run into a few. I clashed heads with some few people that were just doing some shady things. Like a bunch of the older folks were, they were happy to have me around. A lot of them were like, "Yo, you wanna? We'll talk to this sister for you. Or I think you go with this sister." That whole thing, and but it was really just from a huge select of individuals. I don't think it even got to that level. I think it was the whole typical, that whole alpha male type thing where it's like,
yeah,
oh, this dude thinks he knows everything. He's trying to do this, and this, and I'm sitting here going, I'm just trying to help out where I can.
Yeah.
It is what it is.
Well, I want to ask you, how did you come to your name? Did you guys already talk about that or no?
No, we didn't.
So you were formerly you were Cody, right?
Yeah. And then
Cody to Ihsaan. How did that work out?
I looked up. I literally googled Muslim names. And
Muslim name generator.
But I was looking at the descriptions, and I saw the description beneficent, charitable, giving, and I went, that's someone who I try to be. So Ihsaan, okay, that sounds great, cool, I'll pick that. And then I hear Ihsaan being said whenever like the Quran's being recited, or at the masjid, and then later I hear it actually means a lot more. It means like God-like and magnificent. I'm just like, okay, those are some pretty shoes to fill. I need to. So, but no, I mean, I kind of see the meaning as just beneficent. I try to live.
Does anyone still call you Cody at all, or no?
My mom still does. Family still does. If I run into someone who knew me a lot before I converted, or just I don't really mind, like family, friends who like I don't mind, but anyone I meet moving forward, I'm like, yo, my name's Ihsaan. I've had some people in high school who literally refused to call me Ihsaan just to be a dick, because they knew that my parents wouldn't let me change it legally, which I still haven't yet done, because a mentor of mine suggested, hey, you probably should wait because you don't want the TSA, getting all friendly with you at the airport. But recently I've heard airports have been a lot more welcoming, especially towards brown people or anyone who's Muslim, just to avoid a lawsuit.
I haven't gotten stopped in the last 2-3 years, and I used to get stopped every time, so
yeah. I
could believe that. Still,
and what's funny, like every time I've been to Dulles International, not the TSA. The TSA is like the most diverse group of people I've ever seen, but all like just the airport security itself are all like Somalians.
True.
Like all most of the sisters are you see wearing hijabs, but they're all Somalians. So I'm just like, oh shoot, okay.
Yeah.
And
but do I say salam in the airport though?
do you like want your family members to call you Ihsaan, or are you okay with the people who like from before?
I'd prefer, but when they've known me since I was like I'm not that stressed over it.
Sure.
If they do call me Ihsaan at a certain point, great. If not, I'm not gonna worry about it.
You gotta pull the people that do it just to bother you, that'll ignore it going forward. You gotta pull Muhammad Ali and just grab him by the shirt and be like, call me by my name. What's my name?
Oh my god.
Also, you're biracial, right?
Yeah, my long story short, I'm half white, half Korean.
How much are you into Korean culture? Like, what's going on?
Like
over
the
there?
traditional, that's still going. The traditional stuff is fun. Like I used to watch a lot of the historical K-dramas, the Korean dramas.
Okay.
It was kind of cool seeing. I know some people may not agree with me, but basically Korean's history is being China and Japan's bitch over the years.
Oh my god.
Oh my
That's why, like that. No, but that's why a lot of Koreans you run into are pretty strict, sometimes even racist, just because the country itself has been through so much shit, back and forth, over the centuries. Like their culture is literally off almost because they were always taken over by China, taken over by Japan. That's why a lot of Korean food places they might have like a Japanese food section. Well, they don't really do this anymore, but they used to do this, where I grew up knowing it as a Korean dish, but apparently it was originally Japanese and we put our own style. Like for example, sweet and sour chicken or sweet and sour pork. That's a lot of people see that at Chinese restaurants, but then when you go to a Korean place, it's like brought up to another level.
Okay. So what are the sort of like things that make Korean culture unique apart from Chinese and Japanese? I feel like it's definitely evolved. Like I've heard more about Korean culture and seen more pride
the food.
in. Huh?
Like the food's very popular.
The food is more unique than
Entertainment wise too.
Yeah.
That too, because K-pop, for example, and that spans pop and hip hop. Like, if you want to talk hip hop, period, the hip hop scene in Korea is like on another level in terms of the atmosphere and how supportive it is. Like they have like regular AAA TV shows on hip hop and like all these contests and whatnot. But in regards to K-pop, like the music videos, the sound, like they have this shit down to a science.
Right.
Like it's
like
crazy.
factory made almost.
And like some of the best music videos I've ever seen came out of K-pop.
True.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
I see those at restaurants and I'm like, why are these not have more hype?
But it's crazy, like but now the craze on the social trend, it's weird, like you have a lot of people that hate tattoos over there. Like parents will disown their kids for wanting tattoos, but when their daughter like graduates from high school, their graduation present is here's some money to go get some plastic surgery so you can look like a K-pop star.
Whoa.
Wow.
Wait,
Yeah.
What type of surgery do they usually get?
Like just what I guess stuff to help the nose out. Like literally just plastic surgery to make their face look more visually appealing.
What?
That's crazy.
Yeah. Like a nose job, changing the eye shape, like just whatever.
Do they not think that like their origin of beauty is like pretty or something?
Koreans are very judgmental. If you
Well,
ugly,
it can
you
also
ugly.
it can also be a cultural sort of norm too, right? Like I know having Colombian friends that like they'll it's part of their culture that they just get surgeries, like
Nose
For-
jobs.
like a lot of body stuff.
That is the
Yeah.
cultural norm on like for Koreans is.
Yeah, I heard Japan also has a lot of that stuff too.
Oh, also the eyelid surgery too. I know that's popular too.
Yeah,
The monolid.
and this is for both men and women.
That's really
Because you
interesting.
see how you see like in Korea, like Korea used to be. I mean, I guess it depends on which area you go and what circle of friends you are, but it used to, like masculinity used to be drinking and smoking. Like you weren't a man until you like had a cigarette and had some soju with the boys, But now it's like, especially with the younger crowd, being masculine is the whole pretty boy type look and all that.
That's so
That
interesting.
that will act all like hard and tough on the music video, but then when they're in the interview, they're like, "Hi guys." But then on the video, they're like all like a total person.
Tell us about you've had your shirt on that says Dark Visors and on your screen back there. What are you currently working on?
So, well, one thing, Dark Visors. It's actually a darkvisors.com, shameless plug. It's a docu-series on the recruitment process on American football. So we've actually interviewed a bunch of college players, several former NFL players about the whole process, their experience from playing in grade school to being, recruited into college and that whole process, being recruited and then training and whatnot. Different, and of course the experience varied from who went to what team, and then getting drafted into the NFL. And then from there, a lot of them are giving advice, don't do this, make sure this. Like we have some juicy details.
It seems like it has like a dark tone. Is that right?
Not really. I mean, that's so.
Just from the website and the trailer, it looks like it's
Oh,
like
you're
serious.
looking at it right now. So yeah, I mean, it is serious because we're dropping some heavy knowledge. Like one of the things on our Instagram, I think, I forgot who off the top of my head. He said like when you're looking for a college, don't talk to the people that they sent to the NFL. Talk to the people who didn't go to the NFL and what the college did for them after the fact, like stuff like that. Some people drop knowledge that like it's a game, but it's a business. You got to learn to market yourself. It's not about, hey, can you throw a ball fast? It's can you market? Can you be a good businessman? Because that's what you become, whether you like it or not.
That's fact.
When you do projects like this, how important is it for you to like have an actual sort of interest in the subject?
I mean, that's really important because I mean, don't get me wrong. I'm not the biggest sports head.
Sure.
But that actually plays a big, and they've said this to me too, the rest of the team, that plays a big part because if something, like if because they're all football heads, a lot of them, they, like one of the guys actually, I think, played in the NFL for a very short time, and but then because of an injury had to back out. Then you have the two guys who played in high school, and then you have me. I didn't play football professionally. I watch maybe the Steelers game if it's on while I'm not busy. So if all four of us are kind of required for our material to be done before we put it out, because we want to get the interest of people who aren't that familiar as well, so that they'd be like, oh, I want to watch this. But back to your question, like absolutely, because I've done video projects where I'm just like, yeah, this is cool, you know, I'm making a good video, but at the end of the day, I was just wanting it to be over with.
Yeah.
You know,
I think we've been there before.
Yeah, but I mean, I'm still okay with working on projects, even though I don't have that much of an interest, which should be important for anyone doing any type of work or art, because that shows how versatile you can be, you know.
Yeah. I think it's also really good that, like, the point you bring up about, you know, it's good that you're not like the biggest football or sports head, because sometimes it's like you're watching something like, I'm a huge Ravens fan. I watch, like, you know, all the games and stuff, and I'm really zoned into what's going on in the game. But then sometimes you have this moment where you're like, wait, what's going on here? Like, this happened recently where, you know, obviously, like, all this the Black Lives Matter movement was going on, and, you know, there's athletes fighting for social justice and racial equality, and then you have this moment where, like, all these fans are watching the game constantly and are fans of these players, but then as soon as they do something, which I think it was the Chiefs and the Texans that were playing each other, and they decided to lock arms to show unity, not even like kneel or anything like that, they were getting booed at by all the fans that are supposed to be supporting them and that go crazy for them. And it was like, that was one of those moments where I, like, stepped back as, like, a football fan, and I was like, whoa, this is weird. This is like they're like in a zoo, and like the whole title of owner just rings differently at that point. You know what I mean? And then you're looking at it in this vision. So it's like, when you're in that role of, you know, you're not the biggest sort of football guy or sports guy, and you're making this, especially a serious documentary, then all the people that aren't involved in that sort of scene are going to have a different perspective and might look at it in ways that might be different than a fan or someone who's used to that sort of lineup.
Well, you also have to remember, like, when you talk about my interest in the project, I'm very process oriented. Like, if you look at all the different jobs I've did, from commercial printing to IT to video to being an auto mechanic, of all things, like, whatever the process is, whether it's a machine, whether it's a computer, whether it's a car, whether it's a political or economical system, you give me 10 minutes, I may not know the name of everything, but I'll tell you front to back how it works. So that one is a big thing for me, like, seeing what it takes for someone to go through. But also, like, what we're doing is actually providing an opportunity for people who want to go professional, you know. So they see all the ins and outs, they know what not to do, they know what to look for when finding an agent to market them. They know what what different colleges look for, what the pros look for, and this helps the youth. I mean, this really is a sort of youth outreach. Like, you know, we're providing almost a handbook, like how to, like, here's people who've done it years ago, people who've done it recently. So, you know, and I'm very, like, that's one of, you know, another passion of mine is just helping the youth, like, always giving back to the community, right? And I'm feeling like we can do this a lot as well, because we're documenting all this and we're putting it out there. So, you know, there might be some guy who's going to be the next, I don't know, Roethlisberger, who might just need that little extra info.
No, not Roethlisberger.
What?
Lamar. Let's go with Tom Brady. Let's go with anybody but Roethlisberger.
I like Roethlisberger, man. Hey, like, he's dude.
We hate the Steelers over here, bro. We hate the Steelers.
No,
oh god.
Dude, you can't deny that whenever he throws, he's like, I know I'm gonna get tackled, but let me just get this pass in. Throws it, you know. He
just looks like a floating dad bod just on the field.
But Tom Brady, sure. But yeah, like, they might just need the extra info from, you know, all these different people, and then that's what takes them into the league.
Yeah.
You know?
When is the project coming out?
When is it coming out? I believe by the end of this year. We're working hard on.
Okay.
You know, I mean, the COVID obviously, you know, delayed things for everybody. But, you know, we've done a lot of filming. We're still doing a lot of editing. But, I mean, the site's up to give more info. Darkfighters.com. You're already looking at that. And, yeah.
Yeah. Cool, man. Before we get out of here, there's one last question that we ask every guest on the podcast. Shamir, you want to ask him?
If you could describe yourself in any flavor, what would it be and why?
Told me about this, and I should have thought of it. I can't even. A flavor.
Just any flavor.
I'll say mint chocolate chip, because
Okay.
that's like a lot of, I probably use it either that or like Moose Tracks or something, a lot of things, but mint chocolate chip apparently is controversial to some people, because some people think chocolate and mint don't go well together, but like I'm a lot of things put together. Like, you wouldn't expect a half Asian to be a Muslim convert that primarily listens to hip hop music and whose favorite comedian is Paul Mooney, who plays video games. And like, if you go like some birthdays, like I try to have birthday parties at my house and invite all my friends, because it's a giant melting pot. Because you got like rappers, poets, theater geeks, guys who live in the sticks with like lifted up trucks, like all these different people. Because I'm just cool with everyone. I'd say that, yeah, that'd be it.
So controversial, but you think it goes well together.
Yeah.
That's
like
dope.
it.
That's perfect for you.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll link up everything that you're currently working on in the bio. And if people want to follow you anywhere, what should they go to?
That'd be at DJ_Rend on Instagram. That's my personal Instagram.
Sweet.
And then Rendography and Rendivision on Instagram as well. And of course, darkrises.com.
Cool.
Awesome.
We'll link it up. Find it in the description. We appreciate you, Hassan, coming on here. Look forward to talking to you more, working together. It's gonna be a lot of fun.
Yeah,
Yep.
appreciate you guys. Thanks for having me on here.
Of
Thanks,
course.
Hassan.
And for everybody listening, thank you for listening to another episode of Strange Flavors. It's been another week.
Another flavor.
A little less stranger.
We'll talk to you next time.